Hey y'all, hey y'all. Oh my gosh. Make sure my headphones are in. How's it going, everybody? Let me just double check that my audio is good. And then I'm going to make a separate video on what I'm about to say. Um, So one thing that I want to do in 2026, which I did not do in 2025 very well at all, and that was because we were just dealing with a lot, my husband's health, just moving and all that. But I want to keep the promises that I made to myself. And one of the things that happened today was I was like, I'm going to go live today. I'm going to do this video. I've been talking about this forever. Like in my mind, I've had this, that I'm going to, make this video because I think it's such an important topic and I haven't done it. And today I was like, okay, I'm going to keep my promises to myself. I'm just going to do the live, even if it's not perfect. Because I think, just you want it to be perfect anytime you do a video, but that's neither here nor there. So today we are going to talk about how to get an autoimmune disease. Dr. Simone is the perfect example of this. I'm not saying that she has an autoimmune disease, but this is a pattern that I have recognized in women. So, and this is like a conversation that a lot of women are afraid to have out loud. And it's not because it's untrue. It's because this is the identity that they have identified with and have survived with. And the truth is this: many women who are the breadwinner or who become the primary breadwinner in their marriage, and they also have kids and they also are just, managing a lot, they are not just burnt out. They are like biologically dysregulated. And over time, what happens to their body is that it becomes an autoimmune disease. Now, I have seen this happen in my own life, in small spurts. So there was a time where I was working 16, 17 hours a day because I was paying off debt. I wasn't even taking care of, anybody else. I was just doing this for myself. And my doctor said to me, your body wasn't created for this. So you need to find a way to regulate your system and decrease your workload and still make money. And that's when I started selling my lesson plans, because I was like, oh, I can make money doing this and it doesn't require me to leave or be out in public or drive Uber or train more clients. And so this is when I heard Dr. Simone let out this like guttural scream, I was like, oh, she's on the verge of becoming just her own patient. And this is not like an attack on ambition. You guys know I have a master's degree. My entire family is overachievers. That's just what we do. I'm not anti-work, and we certainly don't hate men over here. Like, I love my husband. My husband, is a hard worker. He is the primary breadwinner. I don't think that I guess I have to, let me start with this caveat. Like, you always have to say, well, if someone gets sick or that, like, that's obviously not, I'm not talking about these instances. I'm talking about a very specific instance where we watch a woman biologically break down because she is misaligned in her biological role and her physiology. And what's really happening here is that Dr. Simone has a lot of thoughts and is holding a lot of resentment, and her body is holding what her mouth refuses to say. She let those boys and that man talk to her all kinds of crazy while she funds their lifestyle. And she holds it all in. You think her body's not tearing itself up from the inside out? It is. This is why, I'm not a huge fan of like venting. I'm a huge fan of processing emotions. And I don't think she has. So Dr. Simone is like a classic case of, a biological disaster. She's the financial provider. And on top of that, she is the emotional regulator of the household. The husband, if you watch this video, he literally sits back and says nothing unless it's to pile on her with her sons. She's also the relational glue in the marriage, which a lot of women are. They're the peacekeeper, they're the planner, they're the processor. So you're talking about the physical work of being a doctor, the emotional work of regulating everybody's emotions, which women do naturally, and then all the mental load of being a mother. And men who are providers typically get to just stop at being the financial provider. That's all they do. When men are the financial provider, they typically get to stop there. I'm not saying that all do, but they get to stop there. But when women are the financial provider, unfortunately, they still have to do all of the household load, like the mental load. So they're still, she's still the one who's trying to manage everybody's emotions, anticipating people's needs. It's expensive for women to do that because we start drawing from, we have a very limited amount of testosterone. We start drawing from other hormones in order to manage our lives. And that's exactly what she's doing. So what I want to do is show you guys this clip, and then I want to react to it. So let me just make sure it actually plays. And I want you to notice her tone. I want you to notice the things that she's saying. So let me just make sure that this is working.
Have one less thing off your plate. Have one less.
Okay, perfect. Let me just restart this from the beginning.
It's not just about a single argument. It's about entitlement, boundaries, and the struggles of parenting young adults who expect the world handed to them.
So how does it feel to have one less thing off your plate?
Nothing. It feels like nothing. So we talked about in high school, right? I got the Jeep, boom, Jeep was cool. But now we're starting to teeter towards Jeep not being so cool. So now it's
really? What makes a Jeep not so cool?
No, it's cool, but it's just like, I'm tired of seeing it. I know you tired of seeing it.
Tired. What we do have to look at, though, is your financial situation to see if you could afford to make any payments. I put some numbers. I did some figures for you. Hold on one second while I get my iPad.
I just want to say before you go, make sure whatever you bring out on that iPad is not going to cause me to pick up your...
First of all, she gave him a Jeep. I think the Jeep is the worst car to give a high schooler. Number one, it's expensive. It's very trendy. It's poor gas mileage. She just gave him what he wanted. And now he's saying, well, Jeeps aren't cool anymore. And you're tired of looking at it. Why didn't you give the boy the car that he needed and not the car that he wanted? And then he goes, before you, woo, woo, woo. Okay, when I was growing up, I was never allowed to talk to my mother like that, let alone in front of a father. Make sure what you say. Who are you talking to? Make sure. She gets emotionally abused in this marriage by 3 separate people. That is not the way that children should be talking to parents.
Pasta off your plate and feed it to the dogs. Sure, whatever you bring out on that iPad is not going to cause me to pick up your pasta off your plate and feed it to the dogs.
Yeah, it might. Once Miles and Michael told me that they were going to be graduating this year, all I have been able to think about is moving forward financially. Basically, what I did was just calculate the Chase bill for last year, month by month. January.
Mama, can I stop you right there? You're going the wrong way.
Why does this have to be negative?
It doesn't.
It's factual information. Michael spent over $60,000 by himself on this card.
The Chase bill.
If I were you and I wanted a car, I wouldn't be arguing with the
$60,000 on a credit card per year. That's a job for some people. That's how much money she has to take. This is like on top of a mortgage, groceries, gas in her own car if she doesn't drive an electric vehicle, her own personal maintenance. $60,000 on a child's credit card alone. I want you to feel what that would feel like in your body. The stress of that. And then just multiply it by 2 because she has 2 boys. Multiply that by 2 and then multiply it by 3 because you have a husband that you have to take care of. So let's be generous and call it $100,000 on grown adults that you have to be responsible for, in addition to your household property taxes, mortgage, retirement account. I want you to get into that, feel what that feels like emotionally, biologically in your body. Stressed out.
Person you're asking to buy the car. But that's me. This needs to be shared so that he has a clear understanding about the value of money, about the value of just swiping a motherfucking credit card. So have you been thinking about where you want to go to law school, how you're going to finance your education?
I do have a mother who makes pretty good money.
I don't feel like I should be footing the bill for anything other than the roof over your head, that sort of a thing.
So when you start talking about law school, graduate school, and so forth, if you're not getting any support, right? If no one's helping you to do that, and it sounds like, based on what your mom is saying, that's what would be the ideal situation.
So the only one here at the table with an actual graduate doctorate degree is me. And how I did it was I got scholarship money and loans.
This is called resentment. That was a direct hit at her husband. That's called resentment. When other people are not pulling the weight in a marriage financially, this is what happens. This is called resentment. Now, the piece that people don't really want to talk about is that a lot of women, they've put themselves in these situations because they like to be in control. They like to be in control. So although she resents these people for wasting her time, wasting her money, she likes being in control. So she keeps it that way. And quiet as it's kept, a lot of women are like that. They don't want to let go of the reins and take care of themselves. They'd rather be in control. And so on the one hand, they're causing her stress. On the other hand, she's causing her own stress.
Your mom was not able to do the things for you that you are able to do for us. What about all the rich white kids, their parents pay for their way to do everything, and then they get out of college debt-free and are millionaires?
So what about all the white people who pay for their kids to go to school, be debt-free, and they still ain't doing shit?
This child spent $60,000 a year, which I don't know what law school he's planning to go to, but that's at least half a year's tuition, right? He spent that money and is now telling his mother, you need to give this to me. And this is part of the problem when women are the breadwinners. This is just what I'm going to say. This is the truth. That when women are the breadwinners in this way, everybody becomes entitled. And when people are entitled, they actually hate you. So not only is she absorbing the financial hit, she's absorbing the emotional hit from from this testosterone that hates her. This husband is emotionally defeated. Masculinity, 0. He's letting his son talk to this woman like she's a bank account. Like that's all she is. Like she's some random bank account. This is what causes women to wake up one day and they're like, why do I have Hashimoto's? Why do I have rashes all over the place? Why do I have psoriasis? Why do I have this? Because you let people talk crazy to you and you let people use you and you resent them and your body holds it all in. And then eventually it goes, you know what? Cortisol's been elevated for too long. HPA axis is dysregulated. My immune signaling is all over the place. I've been systemically inflamed for months. This is not a coincidence. Women represent nearly 80% of all autoimmune diagnoses. So if women do not learn to set boundaries, their body will attack itself. and she's angry. Anger is one of the most intense emotions that you can turn back on yourself. If you listen to the way that she talks, she is angry. Listen to this. She's angry and she's putting all of that anger, it's coming out, but she has to do it in a nice way to protect all these little boys' feelings. And it goes back into her. She's angry that her husband's not providing. She's angry that her sons are entitled, that she made them entitled. She's angry that she has to spend $60,000 of her own money to take care of her son's credit card purchases. She's angry. And the solution to this would be to have boundaries, but she won't. She won't. She likes being a sugar mama. It's addicting to be a sugar mama. She's also addicted to suffering. Let's keep listening to it.
Now, Michael's point is still a valid one. We are blessed. We are in a situation where we can help.
Who here at the table gives a about how hard I'm working instead of being able to move towards retirement?
Listen to this piece right here. This is where I was like, I felt an immense amount of sadness for her. Listen to this. Who here cares about how hard I'm working? They don't. And look at him giggling. Look at him. Look at it. Look at the smirk on his face.
Hard I'm working instead of being able to move towards retirement.
Me.
He said that he thinks every day about what he can do to be able to give back to you. That's what he said. But then don't.
If I'm dead before he finishes law school, then
that can
what?
happen.
That's right there. She feels herself deteriorating. And if you're honest and you're in a similar situation where you're just giving and giving, and it doesn't even like Cecil is a representation of a lot of things. It can be a poor marriage. It can be poor boundaries at work, right? They're the same thing, right? Poor boundaries with your family, where you're providing for your family who can really help themselves, but they won't. If I'm dead, what does it matter? She feels herself deteriorating. This is the beginning of autoimmune disease, where you're like, your body is, she is constantly in fight or flight mode. Her body is constantly high adrenaline.
Because God might take you away.
I'm done talking about this.
Oh, I don't care. Be done. I get tired of being the lone man out. It's always 3 against 1.
I'm jumping in.
Jump in. You can't speak for me because you don't think like me. You don't think like me. You don't support me on
Do you see that? That right there, the way that she's talking to her husband is like, you left me out here to provide for this family, and I no longer respect you because I am tearing my body up from the inside out. We already know that your body gets more sensitive when you do not release anger, emotions, when you're not taking care of yourself. We know that. This mismatch is more than about money. It's also about the fact that he can't even back her up when her sons are talking crazy to her. He calls himself a real estate agent. I don't know when the last time he sold a home, but the way that she talks to him, she sounds like she's in danger all the time. Like when a woman is like this, it's because her nervous system is not calm. This is an outburst, because here's what Dr. Simone does on a regular basis. She softens herself to avoid threatening Cecil. And she carries guilt for wanting to lead, but also knowing that, that's the male job. She carries that guilt with her. And the guilt of success. I've talked about this in terms of weight loss. When you carry this guilt and you're like, well, because we do this. Do I want to say this? Yeah, I'm going to say it. I think that a lot of Black women feel bad for Black men, and they don't expect as much from them. Just hopping on, great topic, unpopular opinion. I believe a lot of women in the church deal with this based on the rhetoric preached from the pulpit. Girl, I don't know if you're a girl, actually. I shouldn't say that, but 100%. 100%. This is how cultural Christianity has ruined a lot of the Black community. I firmly believe that. Okay. Say yes, I'm a woman. Okay. This is how, cultural Christianity has ruined, because it's not like these people are going to church, or like they're not in study groups or anything like that. This is just cultural Christianity. This is how women, you do anything, you support a man, you break your back for a man, you serve your man, you serve your family. But the message to men is never sacrifice your life for your family. It's never that. But that's actually what the Bible says. But it's never that. It's never that. It's always we're always preaching messages to women about how they need to support men. And I think especially in our community, it's very difficult because we do understand the perception of Black males in society, and it can be different than a Black woman. But so I come from a family who's like a so what family. So we're like, I don't really care. Like, I don't really care what you think about me. I'm going to try anyway. But with Dr. Simone, I see this babying of the men, but then you simultaneously resent them because you're like, your biology is saying you're supposed to be a man. You're supposed to be a soft place for me to land. I'm not supposed to be in this role where I'm using up all my testosterone to support this family. I'm supposed to be using up my estrogen and progesterone for that, for being a calm place for men. Like, this is literally how your body works. You only have so much testosterone. So when you start working like a man, meaning working long hours back to back, thinking all the time, your brain doesn't get a break. This is why I firmly believe that the way that when God said a man who does not take care of his family is worse than an infidel, I think it's because God understood the biology of women. It's not that you can't work. It's not even that Cecil needs to make as much money as Dr. Simone. He needs to be like, you need to be matching her. Like, you need to be somewhere, like your effort needs to be matching her, because the fact that he's not matching her effort is what's driving her crazy. She hates him. That's what I'm reading from this, is like, you despise him because you have a stronger work ethic. You're a better man than he is. The problem is your biology is not a male biology. That's the problem. And so you're acting in that role and killing yourself. That's why she said, if I die, she knows. She knows on a brain level, but I think she is too afraid to let go of the control, because everybody would be cut off if this were me. All y'all, credit card done. All of them cut off. You want a car, go buy it. Because what this has done, when you're providing everything for everyone, including your sons, your children don't even know what hard work is. You're funding 3 different lifestyles. You're not even just funding, the home. It's bizarre.
Where did that come from?
It comes from my heart. It comes from my heart. The bottom line is, you are so entitled, is what this revealed to me. I'm done. I don't owe you a mother thing from here. I've given you everything I have to give.
Did you guys hear that guttural? Did you hear that guttural scream from her? I've given you everything. Yeah, she's given you her entire hormone panel. That's the truth. Like, she's given you her entire hormone panel. She is running on from an empty tank. To all these men. I don't even want to call them boys. All these men. She is surrounded by 3 testosterone-driven bodies, and she's the only one who's wasting her precious testosterone, which should be used for her job and for this show. But she's using it to manage the household, to plan for retirement, to schedule things, to think about, oh, when am I going to buy this? When am I going to buy this? And on top of that, she's still being a mother, cooking all the meals, taking care of everybody else emotionally, and trying to be a woman. You can't. You cannot. So here's what I want to show you guys next is her live. Let me remove this for a second. It is, and let me just say this. This is not to blame men. I think selecting a mate who embodies ambition as a forward trait, I think that's really important for women. I think something that happens in the church world as well as online is that we think it's okay if the woman is the breadwinner because we don't care about health. We don't care about autoimmune disease. We don't. We think that this is just part of being women, and it's not. But a lot of women would release themselves from autoimmune disease if they would set better boundaries. If they would set better boundaries. Dr. Simone has been outworking her body for years. And she's, she can take a bunch of drugs, and I'm not saying that she is, but I'm saying that women do this to override their symptoms. She can normalize exhaustion. This will happen for a while. And then your immune system just draws the line one day. I said earlier in this live that I worked 12, 14 hours a day. 12, 14 hours a day. And I got to my doctor. This was when I was like 25, 26, 27. I don't remember the exact age, but I had $18,000 in credit card debt. So I was like, I got to work. I got to pay off this. I got to pick up extra clients. I was a teacher on top of that. And then I was training my dog at the same time. It was just insane. And my doctor literally said, I am going to scrape your bone marrow if you do not take a rest, because you are manifesting symptoms of someone with a blood disorder because you are not resting emotionally or physically. That could have been, I could see this happening to Dr. Simone. Even doctors can have this issue. And until she gets these boys out of her house, to be honest, these boys, and until she has an honest conversation with her husband, she will be on this path for a very, very long time. She will be on this path for a very, very long time. Her body is going to blur the line between its own immune system and real threats, and it's going to start attacking itself. Okay, so let me show you guys. I wanted to find, there was a clip of Dr. Simone went live with her son. And then I want to show you the clip of her talking to Andy about it. By the way, you guys, y'all, hold on one second. Sorry. By the way, she ended up getting her son a Tesla. And this is what I'm talking about when I said it's a fine line for a lot of women, because on the one hand, they love the control. They love the control. So they don't really want to give it up. So okay, I'll buy you this, honey. I'm tired of giving you everything I have. I'm tired of you. I don't owe you guys a thing, blah, 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 blah. But you keep doing the same thing over and over again. So part of you likes this. So this is why I can't coach everybody. Because when women come to me and they start talking like this, I will straight up say to them, but part of you likes it, or you would stop. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, no, part of you likes it, or you would stop. Because you notice how when your finger gets burned on the stove, you pull it away and you go, oh, not doing that again. But you keep putting your finger on the stove because some part of you has a mental problem and you like getting burned. Yes, she is reinforcing bad behavior. You keep buying them things. You keep buying your son things when they're grown men. He's 20 something years old. He's applying to law school. At the very least, he should be paying for his own accessories or put him on a budget. There's a concept. Let me show you guys this live that she did with her sons after the fact. And listen to how disrespectful this kid is, you guys. Listen to how disrespectful this kid is. Hold on. It's unbelievable. It really is. Okay.
And Cecil and I both have retirement accounts that, they are.
What are we doing?
We're talking just.
No, I mean, you popping it, and you right.
Wait, did you say I'm popping it?
No, like, yeah, you just popping it. Like, yeah, you doing your thing for sure. And let me get my perspective.
Okay, again, please don't ever interrupt me. Like, literally as a child, do not interrupt me. That is so disrespectful. So in the video, she actually says that she, in the first, like on the show, she said they didn't have fully funded retirement funds accounts. So she's trying to work towards that. Imagine working towards retirement accounts for two people. Imagine as one woman. And you're paying $60,000 of your kid. This is why you were not meant to be the breadwinner. That is too much. I need you guys to like put yourselves emotionally in that position where you're pushing, what is she, 50, 55? You're supposed to be retiring in 10 years. You're a millionaire. Unless, the money is funny. And you still don't have, because you're spending money on your children when they're this disrespectful.
We've heard enough from you.
She just lets him talk.
My God.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, and I don't have much
Chase
to say.
card.
I don't have much to say at all.
Nothing?
No, I have something to say, just not much.
Okay.
I would say one, I think people like, and I don't really,
I'm gonna bring your dad on, but go ahead. You think ahead. What, baby?
I was gonna say I don't necessarily care what their perception is, but even I think my mom's perception is a little wrong of how much me and my brother appreciate what my mom and my dad have done for us. I do like. Let me say that already, because you don't really hear that a lot. Me and my brother.
I don't hear it a lot.
No, I wasn't necessarily saying you don't hear it a lot. I think you hear it a good amount of times. But I'm not saying
Do I?
You hear it. You've heard it a handful of times for sure.
I have.
But the people, me and my brother.
So the way that they interact. So this is what happens when you hate somebody. Or you love someone, but you hate them. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but there's no respect there because the father doesn't respect her. Oh, you're just my little cash flow. You're just my little whoop-de-whoop. I told you enough times I appreciate you. So it comes across like at first it's like playful and cute, but when you read the undertones of it, it's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you should be doing for me. No. Once you get past 18, your parents don't have to do anything for you. They don't have to do anything for you. But she takes it. She likes it. I think this is a self-esteem issue for Dr. Simone. She would rather be hated and surrounded by people who hate her than to be alone and then to respect herself. These boys would probably cut her off if she said no. They would. And a lot of you guys, if you stopped giving money to people, they probably cut you off too. And you're afraid. You're afraid. So you would rather tear your body up from the inside out than to set boundaries. This is what happens.
Are very appreciative, and we're very understanding. I guess I'm not going to speak for Miles on here, but I would. I am very aware of the situation that I'm in, guys. Like, I am very aware that I'm blessed. I'm very aware that I don't deal with a lot of problems that some people my age deal with. I'm very aware of that. But the thing that people don't understand is, like, I've worked a job since I was in high school playing basketball. I had a job before my mom told me to get a job, right? So, like, it's not like I never have the thought of doing things for myself and I just want to live off my mom forever. That's never been my thoughts. Me personally, I want to be very rich. In that moment, what I was saying was basically, help me out. I'm not asking you to pay everything, but pay some of it. You can pay some of it. And I took what she was saying as she wasn't going to pay anything. And we've had conversations about it. And she said she will pay some of it. So we'll just chop that whole big argument up to a miscommunication. We could just leave it at that.
To a little baby in his feelings is what we're talking.
She's right about that. A little baby in his feelings. But guess what she's going to still do? Because her worth is wrapped up in her provision. Her worth is wrapped up in how much she can provide. That is her identity. And she doesn't care that it's killing her. She says she does, but she doesn't care, because if she did, she would stop letting them run her amok.
And I'm also going to get this one off just because, to be funny. Someone commented on my post talking about, or on me and my mom. Hey, Dad, I got to get this one off. Someone commented on my post talking about, I love how you stood strong, Simone, which we do love. I'm not saying we don't love that. We love that. You were good there. But then she said, I paid for my daughter's undergrad and she paid for the rest. My next question would just be, like, if you are going to comment that, do you have $1 million? Like,
and see, you don't have $1 million, and your mom really doesn't have the money either, because she's still trying to fund her accounts. See, your mom really doesn't have the money either. You don't know enough about finances, young man, to even know what it actually requires. So even if you have $1 million in the United States, you have to tax it 60%. So you really got about 40K. I'm sorry, 400,000. So that's how many years of law school, plus retirement accounts, plus that huge mortgage that they have to pay, plus groceries, plus makeup, plus whatever. Her son is flexing on money that's not even his. They created a monster. And this is a situation. I had a teacher in college who used to say this when he was talking to us about classroom management. He said, don't become the teacher who is nice to the alligator, hoping that you will get eaten last. Or be nice to the crocodile, hoping that you will get eaten last. Because eventually she's being nice to the crocodiles. I'm going to feed the crocodiles. I'm going to give them a nice little cage. I'm going to give them whatever they want, and they'll never turn their back on me. They're doing it now. They're doing it now. They're proverbially eating her alive. She gave them all that stuff, all that food, all those fishies in the sea. You never have to hunt for yourself, baby. I got you a little pond right here. What do crocodiles eat? Here's a rabbit. She gave all these crocodiles. She said, I'm gonna put you in a little pond so you never have to hunt. I'm gonna buy all your meals so they're just you don't ever have to go hungry. You don't know what it's like to starve yourself. And she said, and they'll never eat me. They'll never eat me because I fed them and gave them everything they ever wanted. And now they're turning and said, oh, I'm gonna eat you if you don't do this for me. Bring me some more rabbits. Bring me some more raccoons. Bring me some more fish. She thought that if she fed the crocodiles, they would not eat her, or that she would get eaten last. They're eating her now. Her sons and her husbands. And it will manifest itself in her body. It will manifest itself in her body. give it 2 or 3 years. Give it 2 or 3 years.
Like if we gonna play the compare game, do you have $1 million? I'm just
The
curious.
only thing that I'm going to say to you, Michael, is that at this age, at this time in my life, I do not have a fully funded retirement account.
No, for sure.
And
No.
if I were not helping to support you and your brother,
Hey,
you all are doing your
hey,
part now. You're
hey.
doing your part now. But if I didn't have any children to help support through anything, do you understand that I could go ahead and go home now? Now I might have to put down Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Dior. I might have to stop shopping. However, I could live comfortably and not have to work at all.
Meet Gym Monster 2, your all-in-one smart home gym. Set it up anywhere, no limits, no installation.
If what?
If I weren't still helping to support you and your brother.
Exactly. But see, Dr. Simone, this is why I have to get on you. You have a choice here. You are choosing to give them a certain lifestyle at the expense of your health. My husband and I had a conversation recently about just lifestyle, right? We love to travel. We like nice things. We like eating organic food, and we live in the Bay Area. If we want to continue to save and to continue to do those things, then it's not a smart idea to go move into a massive house where we're broke, poor. You can never be in your house because you're trying to pay off your house. You're trying to, barely survive. So you're always working. You can never enjoy it. So many people do this with their children. They give and give and give. Do you spend time with your children? Do you get to know your children? Do you have a relationship with your children? Is there respect there? Because that would save you a lot of emotional and physical energy if you actually did that instead of supporting grown men. It's very normal to have someone say, hey, you know what? You're just going to pay $500 a month. $500 a month in rent is well below market rate. It teaches financial responsibility. It teaches the truth about how things work. When is her cutoff age for them? It also gives you back. Like I heard of parents so they make their children pay rent, $500 a month, and then they save it. And when they move out, they give it back to them. See, she doesn't even have to really take their money, but what it teaches them is respect. And she doesn't feel resentful because she's not getting anything from them. See, it's not really about the money. She's resentful because they don't respect her. And she can't say, no, don't do this. No, don't do that. She won't do it. So she holds it all in. Maybe she buys things. She ain't working out. She just lets it all, seep into her body. It's a mess.
Do you understand that?
Yeah, that's facts. Fair. But hold on, Dad. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
Actually, go ahead, Dad. Get at me.
Well, so first off,
get at me though.
Yeah, no. Well, first off, before I get at you, what's happening to everybody? And I'm laughing. People say, "Why am I laughing?" I'm laughing at the comments, because I don't really watch reality TV anymore because most of the shows they don't have the husbands on anymore. But I used to watch the reality TV when the husbands were back on, and I kind of feel for the people who watch Bravo. I kind of feel like Camille Grammer tonight, watching the show. And for the people that watch Bravo will know what I'm talking about. But
I watch a lot of Bravo and I watch.
Okay, before we get to this part, this is where you start to see his insecurity. Okay, listen to what he's saying. This is where you hear his insecurity. And this is why I said early on, when you start taking care of a man, it makes him insecure and they will make your life a living hell. Because insecure men are a risk to society and to women. They are. God created men to work and to provide and to be protectors. Listen to what he's about to say.
Watch Camille Grammer on Housewives of Beverly Hills. Explain what you mean by saying you feel like Camille Grammer.
where Kelsey Grammer basically put her on the show because he was going to get a divorce.
So he said, I feel like Camille Grammer. What Kelsey Grammer did was he put Camille on so she could have a platform and then she could make her own money, right? Because he was the breadwinner. Whereas Cecil is saying, well, I feel like Camille, like you're putting me on the show because you're going to divorce me so I can have my own money and I can have my own platform, but you don't have to, leave me high and dry. If she got a divorce, Dr. Simone would be paying alimony, just so y'all know. She would be paying money. This is his insecurity popping in.
And so you felt like this season you were on the show
tonight,
so that I could get a divorce.
He felt like watching the episode tonight.
Watching the episode tonight and watching it happen live.
He imagined
it's like, I could see how Camille Grammer felt.
Yes, I felt.
And I don't think. I mean, if I were on and I was saying the same thing, when I had the interview with Carlos King, if I had got on there and said the same stuff that you were saying, you would be hurt. And I think you'd have to admit that. And so the only thing I'll say is this, and this is where reality TV sometimes isn't all reality, because they only show, so that scene they only showed probably about 5 minutes, and we filmed that scene for probably close to an hour. So there was a lot of stuff said. There was a lot of things that went on behind the scenes that you don't get to see.
I didn't even think about, honestly.
Okay, I'm sick of him. Anyway, the last thing I want to show you guys before I got to get off of here is I wanted to show you guys the interview that she did. And I think it was with Carlos King, and now I have to find it. With Andy Cohen. So let me show you guys this and then I'll finish this up. But you guys get my point, right? It's so important to have boundaries. Like the reason why a lot of women have autoimmune issues is because they don't have boundaries. And a lot of times we are told that it's okay not to have boundaries, but to our own detriment. I got to pause this every once in a while, or they're probably going to copyright me. But yes, it's 3 against 1. It's her husband does not respect her. See, you guys, men never respect a woman who's taking care of them. They don't. This is why they say, like child psychologists will say, don't baby your boys. They won't respect you. And her husband doesn't respect her, and her sons don't respect her. They resent her. Because when you're married, you're supposed to be a team. And there's roles on that team. Good cop, bad cop. Simone is the good cop because she's paying everybody's lifestyle. But somehow in this twisted fantasy, he has become good cop. So again, add that to her emotional load. She is now the bad cop. Crazy.
I would so much.
Can you imagine being angry for 29 years? Oh yeah, she got something brewing inside her. I hope she gets checked out, because that is crazy to be angry for 29 years. Yeah. Remember how I said it's not sustainable. It's never sustainable for a woman. It's one thing if there's a period in your life for 5 years, let's say, where you're just the breadwinner because, or 3 years because husband is in law school or whatever, right? It's another thing when it's been 29 years and you're like, because see, Dr. Simone's not going to get rid of these children. Like, she's not going to cut them off. What she can do, she can cut them off. They can't come after her for her money. She can cut them off, but she won't do it. So what she would rather do is cut off her husband and keep giving to her children. Meaning divorce her husband, keep giving to her children. It's going to be the same problem. It's going to be the same problem. So she has to cut this off at the root. The solution is not to get divorced. The solution is to have boundaries. Otherwise, you'll find. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. This is a reminder that your body keeps the score. And women who are breadwinners deal with, we were not created biologically the same as men. We simply were not. I don't care who lies to you. I don't care what book you've read. We are not the same. All you have to do is look in the mirror. All you do, you just look in the mirror and go, I don't handle things the same way that a man handles things. You were not meant to. And when you do, you get a disease. They do not. See, when when you are the breadwinner and men are sitting around resting on their laurels, not having to make any decisions. So just so you guys know, in ancient cultures, when women were like, in control, men made a lot of the big decisions. Heavy is the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. With Cecil and Dr. Simone, she's heavy as the head that wears the crown. She's the go-getter. She's the huntress. She's the lioness. She's doing it all. And he hates her for it. Her children hate her for it. And her body is eating itself from the inside out, because that's what happens when you're stressed for 29 years. Because you're doing a job that your body was biologically not meant to do. She was meant to be a doctor, have her little show, and have a man who was supporting her financially as well. And being on her team when her children start acting out of line and telling her what she should and should not do with her money. That's what she was meant. She was not meant to have 3 children. Better get it right. All right, you guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you guys are looking for coaching in the new year, find the Fit and Flourishing app online in the App Store, and I'll see you guys.